A cargo plane used by military henchmen during Argentina's dirty war to fly leftists over the ocean and push them to their deaths has been brought back to the country, where it may go on display in a museum on the theme Horrors of Dictatorship. The Belfast-built Skyvan PA-51 cargo plane landed in Buenos Aires yesterday after sleuths traced it to the United States, where for much of the last decade it had been ferrying skydivers, with very few being aware of its gruesome history. The plane, which was discovered in the US, is the first ever to be proven in a court that it was indeed used by Argentina's junta to hurl political detainees to their deaths from the sky, one of the bloody period's most cold-blooded atrocities. Argentina's government will add the plane to the Museum of Memory, which is in what was the junta's most infamous secret detention center. Known as the ESMA, it housed many of the detainees who were later tossed alive from the death flights into the ocean or river. An official ceremony on Monday will mark the plane's return amid a push to exhibit it at the Museum of Memory, dedicated to victims of the rightist military regime that convulsed the country from 1976 till 1983. The aircraft will be exhibited on the grounds of the Navy Mechanics School in Buenos Aires, the site of a clandestine death camp where some 5,000 prisoners were held and which today is the Museum of Memory. Around 30,000 had disappeared during the Argentine military's dirty war against leftist subversion. The Skyvan aircraft is reported to have made some 200 unexplained nighttime flights between 1976 and 1978. Military officials had reportedly obliterated all traces of those taken on the flights in this aircraft. Argentina's junta is widely considered the most deadly of the military dictatorships that ruled much of Latin America in the 1970s and 1980s. It detained, tortured, and killed people suspected of opposing the regime. Human rights groups estimate 30,000 were slain, many of whom disappeared without even a trace. During an extensive 2012 to 2017 trial, 29 former officials were sentenced to life in prison, proving that the dictatorship used death flights as a systematic mode of extermination. In seeking justice for the junta's victims, Argentina has held 296 trials relating to dictatorship-era crimes against humanity since 2006. In those trials, 1,115 people were convicted.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.